So you remember our friend Philip Crosby and his philosophy of do it right the first time. Well, what he advocates is focusing on prevention and the cost of non-conformances, or otherwise known as the cost of poor quality. So the cost of poor quality is really can be a more accurate description of what we want to control. It's usually easier to identify when it comes to services that directly impact external customers. Most systems, computer systems, can report out metrics around external quality issues that lead to lower customer satisfaction, or metrics to leverage could be things like percentage of rework, cycle time, customer satisfaction survey results, claims, write-offs, fines, and impact of competition perhaps. But the challenge lies in measuring the cost of poor quality that have indirect customer impact, and that's sometimes referred to as the hidden factory. So the hidden factory is really defined as the useful, extra, positive output that would theoretically be possible if the resources used to create waste were free to make good quality items. So in 77, Armand Feigenbaum estimated the waste within the hidden factory might be 15 to 40% of total company capacity. That's astounding to me. 40%. That means that 40% of your capacity of your entire organization could be spent on the hidden factory, which is basically producing scrap for you, producing rework. So 40% is pretty high, but 15% probably is not unrealistic. So when your company determines the cost of poor quality metrics, those are only the measurable costs that can be pulled from databases like manufacturing execution systems or ERP systems. However, that's only the tip of the iceberg. So it's easy to measure missed deliveries, product recalls and redesigns, rework activity, and test costs, but these are only some of the costs incurred by a company. And they're usually described here in the visible portion, above the water surface of the iceberg. So a company will never be able to measure all of this cost of poor quality, but it's important to remember that the remaining immeasurable costs are always going to be much higher than what's actually measured. Just like an iceberg, the larger portion is below the surface and is not typically visible in the databases of typical systems. You can see many examples of the hidden factory costs below the surface of this iceberg. So all of these hidden factory tasks and activities for internal detection and rework dramatically reduces capacity, and it also creates friction among departments, resulting in frustration among employees. Activities like excessive overtime, billing errors, expediting, damage to your reputation, excessive customer audits and meetings, compliance failures, loss of customer goodwill, staff morale, excessive employee turnover, excessive work in process, loss of potential revenue. These are all very expensive adders to the cost of poor quality. So the cost of poor quality increases as we move from prevention to internal rework to external rework. So the goal is to invest time and money on defect prevention, and this eliminates as much as possible the inspection, the internal and external rework costs.